eat.
I'm not poisoning anything.
You're not, huh? Get him. Get around there. Now, if you're not poisoning the pond, let's see you tip up that jug and take a swig.
Well, I can't do that. It's concentrated chlorine. It kills the algae and fungus.
It kills fish, too. We've tried 2 or 3 times to stop this pond.
But this water's only for swimming.
What do you think fish do, walk? Now you take your jug of poison and get out of here.
Lady, I'm only following orders of Mr. Drysdale.
Aha! So Mr. Drysdale put you up to this, did he?
Yes, ma'am. And now, if you don't mind, I'm running a little late.
You're running fast, that's how you're running.
Sound like Granny must have agreed something. All right, Jethro. Read me that letter from Mr. Drysdale's bank.
I don't think you're going to want to hear it, Uncle Jed. It's terrible news.
Like what?
Like you ain't got no more money.
I don't want no more money. I got more than I can use right now. 35, 40 million in it.
Not according to this letter, you ain't got nothing. You're broke.
Broke? Jed Clampett?
Yes, ma'am, that's a fact. He's what they call overdrawed.
What does that mean?
Well, that means that you owe Mr. Drysdale's bank $34.70.
Ah, that's why he wanted to get shed of us. Putting poison in our pond. Next thing you know, he'll be burning down our barn.
Who?
Mr. Drysdale, that's who. Oh, he was nice as pie to you when you had millions in his bank. But now that it's all gone, he has no use for you.
How could all that money be gone? Jethro, are you for sure positive certain that letter's for me?
Oh, yes, sir, Uncle Jed. There it is, wrote in black and white. Mr. J.D. Clampett.
Why don't you go out and get yourself an honest job?
Opal, an actor must keep himself available in case the studio calls.
You've been available now for over 10 years and they ain't called you.
Must you tell it to all the neighbors?
Who's telling them? They already know you're a bum.
I am an actor.
You are a bum.
Opal, you are going to regret that when my big break comes, and it's due. Charles Boyer has switched to character parts.
So?
So, who do you think is going to take his place as the suave, continental leading man?
Not you, Jake.
That Jacques.
That jerk.
Oh. Maybe the good news, it's right here in this mailbox.
Now, you listen to me. You open that box and you're going to pick up every single bill that falls out.
Hold your apron, Opal.
Well, I've put up with this. I'll never know.
Someday, this will all be fan mail.
Can't even go home to Mother. We're living with her.
Someday, I will open this bank statement, and it will say that I am worth $36,422,000.
And that day, I will turn into Liz Taylor.
It did say that.
Did say what?
I'm worth $36,422,000. Well, don't just stand there, Liz. Help me look.
I'll tell you where your money went, Jed Clampett. Why you're flat busted broke. You're living too high on the hog.
Hello? Could I speak to Mr. Drysdale, please? Oh, thank you very kindly. Mr. Drysdale done left for the bank. What do you mean, too high on the hog?
That's what I mean, too high on the hog. Back home you used to holler 2 miles to your neighbor. Out here you can't even holler next door. You have to use an expensive telephone.
Granny, I don't hardly think I spent $35 million on the telephone.
Milkman, come. Want some?
That's what I mean. Buying milk off on a truck instead of having our cow and squeezing our own. There you go, using your finger instead of your lungs.
Well, now, Granny, the bank's about a 4 to 5 mile holler.
Uncle Jed, I'll drive you down to the bank in the truck.
That's the most sinful waste of all. Buying expensive gasoline for that fancy truck instead of walking a paltry 8 or 10 miles.
I don't mind walking. Just got my shoes fixed.
And you wonder where your money went.
Well, Granny, it's cheaper than buying him a new pair.
Young Young'uns don't need shoes out here in Beverly Hills. That's one thing this place has got. Barefoot weather the whole year round.
Morning, Pa. Can I ask you something?
Sure, Ellie.
There you are. There's the whole thing in a nutshell. Take a good look, everybody.
Well, what's the matter, Granny? I was just fixing to give Wendell his breakfast.
That's just it. Back home, we used to live off of possums. Out here, possums are living off of us. Fetch me my big lard barrel, Jethro.
Lord barrel. Granny, you ain't fixing to fry Wendell, are you?
No, child. I'm fixing to pack up our things and all our belongings and go on back home and stop this mad, crazy spending spree before we all end up in the poorhouse. Or maybe get poisoned from the poison pond.
Poison pond? Well, Granny, me and Wendell was just going swimming.
Well, save your swimming for the creek back home.
Ah, simmer down, Granny. I don't believe Mr. Drysdale poisoned our pond no more than I believe we spent all our money.
Here you are, Granny.
Hold it, Jethro. Put that down.
Well, if it ain't spent, where is it?
That's what I'm calling up to find out. Well, good morning to you, Commerce Bank of Beverly Hills. This here is Jed Clampett. Could I speak to Mr. Drysdale, please? Thank you, ma'am. Everything must be fine. It's real friendly.
Mr. Drysdale's office? No, I'm sorry. He's on his way to the airport for an out-of-town trip.
Mr. Drysdale's leaving town?
That's where your money went, leaving town with him.
Now, hold on. Could I please talk to Miss Hathaway?
Well, I'm afraid she's with Mr. Drysdale.
Is both gone?
It took them both to tote your money. Start packing, young'un.
Hey, you in that truck. You can't stop there. Move on.
Well, Mr. Policeman, we got business in the bank there.
Move on or I'll give you a ticket.
Oh, no, thank you. We already got a ticket for parking here.
Two of them. $5 ticket and a $10 ticket.
Hey, doggos, we should have brought him along.
Move on or I'll give you a $20 ticket.
Thank you very kindly, but we couldn't let you do that.
What?
We still got our pride, even though we is flat busted broke.
Oh, you're vagrants.
No, sir, we's Clampett. I'm Jed, this Ellie Mae, and sitting next to her.
Listen, you want me to run you in?
Well, no, sir. You just stand aside, I'll walk in. See, we got business in there.
Oh, you're not only traffic violators and vagrants, you're bum tech artists. Now get that heap out of here before I arrest the lot of you.
You sure ain't being very friendly.
We don't want your kind in Beverly Hills. Now move it.
You wouldn't talk so sassy if I had my gun.
Done.
Drive on, Jethro. I got the feeling that we ain't welcome around here no more.
Jake, there's a cop. Maybe you shouldn't try to cash the check.
Baby, it's the bank's mistake, not mine. Besides, is a man with $36 million going to miss a few thousand?
Yeah, but it still seems dishonest. It isn't your money.
Baby, to get a break in Hollywood, you've got to put up a big front. This is my chance. Next week, when I'm a big star, I'll pay it back. I'll pay it back.
Well, Janet, Mr. Drysdale is winging east. And that leaves you and me to man this nerve center of our mighty bank. A little frightening, isn't it?
Yes, Miss Hathaway.
Now, during the chief's absence, I shall occupy his office and you will remain at my desk.
Miss Hathaway's office. One moment, please. It's the new teller, Mr. Wilson. He said there's a rather shabbily dressed man by the name of J.D. Clampett wanting to withdraw $10,000.
Wilson, Hathaway here. Don't let appearances deceive you. Mr. J.D. Clampett is good for any amount up to $36,422,000. Glad to help.
$36 million.
Needless to say, he is Mr. Drysdale's favorite depositor. Oh, that reminds me. The chief is having some work done at the Clampett estate. New filtering system for the pool, repairs to the driveway. I'll get on the phone and see that these things are taken care of.
How about it, Uncle Jed? We gonna pack up and go back to the hills?
It's up to you to decide, Jed. You're the head of the clan. Whatever you say, go.
What's it gonna be, Paul? Go back home or stay here?
We're gonna stay here.
No, we ain't. We're going back home.
Jed's gonna whop you, Granny.
I'd rather get whomped than poisoned. Or shot down by Mr. Drysdale's hired killers.
What hired killers?
That policeman out front of his bank.
He was going for his gun when we drawed away.
Let's go back and whomp that rascal.
We'll feud the whole bank.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, ain't nobody going nowhere or do nothing till I am dead for certain convinced that Mr. Drysdale has turned against us and he's trying to get himself rid of us.
What does he have to do to convince you, kid? Who's that?
I don't know, but I smell hot tar.
Me too.
Well, Jed, does tar and feathers convince you?
Now, just calm down, everybody. Hey, mister, what you got in that little tank there?
Hot tar.
Is it for anyone in particular?
Yeah, a fella named Clampett.
This your idea, or did somebody put you up to it?
Man named Drysdale hired me for the job.
Well, Jed, heard enough? Convinced now?
Of course he's convinced. Let's swamp that little rascal and head back for the hills.
Now, hold on now. I can handle that little feller. As far as leaving goes, no matter how sorry Mr. Drysdale goes to treating us, we gotta stay a mite longer.
Why? What for?
As it says here in this letter, we owe the bank $34.70, and we can't leave town owing money.
We ain't got $34.70.
Then we gotta go out and earn it. Ain't never been a Clampett known to do a dishonest thing, and we ain't gonna be the first.
Don't you and your mother wait dinner for me, doll. I'll grab a bite at the studio commissary.
What studio?
Well, how can I tell until after I've weighed all the offers? Oh, and start packing, doll. I can't wait to get away from that old, broken-down heap.
Now, that's no way to talk about Mother's house.
Who's talking about her house?
Jake Clampett.
Jacques, dear, Jacques. Oh, and doll, here. Get yourself some decent clothes.
But, Jake!
Don't worry. I'm on my way to the bank for more. Get yourself a mink. After all, your husband's in pictures now. You are the wife of a star.
I'm the wife of a bum!
Little man, can I talk you out of this?
Why don't you stop bugging me? I got a job to do.
Yeah, well, like I keep telling you, I don't think you're man enough to do it. At least he's not alone.
Well, I do.
Please, won't you give up this notion?
Want to know something? You're going to get hot tar all over you.
I'm sorry you're such a muley, little feller.
There he goes.
Just be thankful I didn't head first you into the hot tar.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Now, let's go figure out how to raise that money. How you coming, Jethro?
Putting everything all together, and we got 80 cents.
We owe $34.70. How much does that leave for us to have to earn?
Well, let's see. 34.70. Naught, take away naught, leaves naught. 7, take away 8, leaves -1. 4, take away naught, carry over -1, and bring down the 3.
Doggy, you sure can cipher. That's one thing we got out of Beverly Hills, a fine education for you.
Where's my gun? Fetch my gun. Get me my gun.
What's the matter now, Granny?
I just caught another varmint out by the cement pond. Says he's gonna shut off my water.
What for?
Drysdale's orders. Says he's putting in a new system. I reckon that means he wants to get rid of us.
Can't believe a man would be mean enough to thirst us out of here.
I say it's feuding time. We've been provoked beyond human endurance.
Well, howdy, Miss Hathaway.
Give me that phone.
I'll take it. Jed Clampett speaking.
But, Mr. Clampett, how can you be at home? You were just downstairs drawing out another $10,000. What? Stay there. I'll call you right back.
Well, Jake, you made it, just like you said you would. There you are in front of the movie cameras.
Action. Cut. Thank you, Mr. Clampett.
Thank you. Just one...
This will be on the 5 o'clock news.
Thank you so much.
Well, did you hear that, Jake? You're going to be famous, just like you always promised.
So, maybe a producer will see me. Call the studios and tell them to catch the 5 o'clock news.
Of course, mere words can never express our deep humiliation over this unforgivable error. But your bank account has already been reimbursed, and Mr. Jake Clampett is safely in jail.
In jail?
Clampett?
Well, yes.
I don't hardly think we can hold still for that.
But he took your money.
Oh, any kin of mine is welcome to whatever I got.
But you don't know that he is your kin.
We don't know that he ain't neither.
I reckon we'd like him fetched out of there just as quick as can be.
All right, if you insist.
Now, this is what I mean by putting up a front.
Wow, Jay.
That's junk.
I warn you not to try and take advantage of this situation. I am certain there is not the remotest possibility that you could be even distantly related to these wonderful people. And I am rushing back to the bank now to check you out thoroughly.
Well, howdy there. You must be Mr. and Mrs. Clampett.
Cousin Jed.
Pleased to meet you. Say, what side of the family are you from?
This is my wife, Opal. And, darling, this is my long-lost favorite cousin, Jed Clampett.
Howdy, ma'am.
Hello.
This here is my daughter, Ellie.
Cousin Ellie.
This here is Granny.
Cousin Ellie.
Say howdy to Granny.
Howdy, Granny. This young lady belongs in the movies, and I'm going to see that she gets there.
Well, thank you. Can we all go? There's going to be a double feature tonight.
Marvelous. She's so wonderfully naive and unspoiled.
And this here is my nephew, Jethro.
Howdy. I hear tell you're a movie actor.
Quite right, my lad.
Well, let's all go and have some victuals and get better acquainted with our cousins, Opal and Jake.
That's Jacques.
That's Jake.
Wow, Jake, look at this room.
Yeah, well, I reckon you being married to a movie actor, it ain't quite what you used to.
You can say that again.
Well, we got bigger rooms down the hall.
No. This is fine.
Oh, by the way, don't let this thing fool you the way it done Granny. She thought it was some kind of a fancy bathtub. And duck your head when you walk under this thing. Of course, you can't hurt it none. It's been walked into so much, it's just hanging there in 100 pieces.
Mr. Clampett, that's a crystal chandelier.
Yeah, but you don't want to try to light none of them candles. I reached up, stuck my finger in one of them one night to feel for the wick. Knocked me clean across the room.
Well, it's electrically wired.
Oh, yeah, it's held together real good.
Well, that's one thing Jake doesn't have to worry about, being too tall.
Yeah, I noticed that. He's about the shortest Clampett ever did see.
You can say that again. Short of money, short of talent.
What'd you say, man?
Opal was just agreeing with you that I'm short.
Well, that'll come in real handy with these beds here. If Jethro and me was to sleep in one of them, we'd hang over from the knees down.
Can I come in?
What you got there, Granny?
Victuals for the company. I bet you two's hungry.
You can say that again.
Let's go wash up.
Oh, yeah, excuse us.
I reckon Cousin Jake's woman is kind of hard of hearing. That's the third time she's asked to have something said again.
Maybe she'll get some help from these pickled crow gizzards.
She just might. Ain't nothing here is better than a crow.
Help yourself, kid. I got 56 jars of them.
Oh, yeah, you made these to peddle to help raise money.
Yeah, but now that we don't need the money, we got ourselves a couple of weeks of company eating.
Hey, it's finger-licking good, Granny. Can I have seconds?
Hold on. Here comes Jake and his missus.
Well, now, isn't this nice of you?
I reckon it is. But Jake here being our cousin,
And a movie picture actor.
you deserve the best.
Hope you folks can stay a spell.
Well, we wouldn't want...
Well, eat and run? Oh, I think we can manage at least a week.
How do you like my pickled crow gizzards?
What did you say they were?
I said they're pickled crow gizzards.
Granny's got 56 jars. We can have them 3 meals a day.
Not into her.
Reckon she ain't partial to crow gizzards. What do you think of them, Cousin Jake?
Oh, I'm staying a week. This isn't the first time I've eaten crow.
Filmway's presentation.
You'll have to wait a spell for the rest of your breakfast, Mickey. Movie stars come first. Tell Granny more juice for Aunt Opal, and Uncle Jake would like another pot of coffee.
Right. Now, don't forget, tomorrow it's my turn to serve him breakfast in bed.
Well, all right, Jethro, hurry now.
Goodness knows, Jed, I ain't one to complain. But when able-bodied folks have to have their victuals toted up to bed to them, I think it's downright sinful and lazy. Especially when they bear the proud name of Clampett.
Well, I reckon movie picture actors like Cousin Jake is used to living a different kind of life from us, Granny. Besides, the young'uns don't seem to mind fetching a toting for him.
Hey, Granny, that Opal wants some more juice. Oh, and I'll need this pot of coffee from my uncle, the movie star.
Jethro, you... My dingus, Jed. You'd think we were the poor relations instead of them two upstairs?
Now, Granny, I don't hardly think it's fitting for you to be calling a big movie star like Cousin Jake poor relation.
I ain't never seen him in a movie picture. Have you?
Well, Granny, you and me don't go to a whole heap of pictures neither.
Well, I've seen enough to know who stars and who ain't. That's more than he does.
What do you mean?
Well, I got to asking him questions last night. He don't even know Hoot Gibson.
Go on. Everybody knows who Gibson.
He don't. He don't know Dustin Farner, Ken Maynard. He don't even know Jack Hoxie.
He was agreeing in you. Why, them is the hardest riding, straightest shooting, moving picture stars there is.
Of course. But do you know who your cousin Jake wants to put in a movie picture?
Who?
Some fella by the name of Marlon Brando.
I kind of admire that in Cousin Jake. Ain't everybody take a chance on a new fella nobody ever heard of. Good for you, Cousin Jake.
How long do you think you're going to get away with this movie star masquerade?
It won't be a masquerade once I make a picture with Marlon Brando. I'll be a star.
You've never made a picture with anybody. What makes you think you can get Brando?
With this mansion and Cousin Jed's money, I can do anything. Hon, it's Hollywood psychology. When you look like you don't need a job, everybody wants you.
In your case, it'll be the police.
Baby, I am not doing anything illegal. I am merely accepting the hospitality of my cousin, Jed Clampett.
You're also spending his money, and you're not even sure that he is your cousin.
Neither is he, which makes it all work out very nicely.
How do you know he's your cousin?
'Cause he says so. And the word of a Clampett is good enough for me.
His being a Clampett don't make him your cousin.
No, but his saying so does.
How come?
'Cause he's a Clampett. And the word of a Clampett is good enough for me. Now, Jethro, before I speak to Cousin Jake, you sure it is what you want to do for a living?
Yes, sir, Uncle Jed. I done decided I want to be a movie star.
You give up the notion of being a pig farmer?
Oh, yes, sir, Uncle Jed. I give that up to be a brain surgeon.
What steered you off of being a brain surgeon?
Well, I ain't give that up altogether now. If I don't like movie starring, I'll go back to brain surgeoning.
Good thinking, boy. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Excuse me, Cousin Jake. I hate to bother you. I know you're powerful busy being a movie star and learning your parts and all, but if you could spare me a minute, I'd like to ask you a favor.
Quite all right, Cousin Jed. What can I do for you?
Well, I know you're figuring on making a picture with this feller, Brando.
Marlon Brando, yes.
Yeah, that's a feller. Well, now, Jethro here has got a right powerful hankering to be a movie star. And I figured, since you're using an actor nobody ever heard of, couldn't you just as well use Jethro?
use Jethro instead of Marlon Brando?
I'll make it up to you any way I can. Of course, I ain't got much to offer except money. But you're welcome to that.
How much money?
Much as you need. 5, 10 million?
You know, there's a lot of Brando in that boy. It's fantastic. He is Brando. Jethro, let me hear you yell, "Hey, Stella!"
I don't know nobody named Stella.
Pretend you do.
Howdy, Stella.
Hey, he took that off real good. Just like he knowed her.
Cousin Jed, I think that you have come up with a great new discovery.
Well, now, I can't claim the credit. After all, it was you discovered he was a great actor.
Yes. Well, now, I'll tell you what. Jethro, there's a Marlon Brando movie playing in town. I want you to go see it. Study Brando. Learn all you can. All right?
Is it all right, Uncle Jed?
Hop to it, boy.
Yeah, I'll be a movie star.
Well, thank you, Cousin Jake. Thanks a million.
Just a minute. I thought you said 5 or 10. Oh, you mean I... Think nothing of it. My pleasure.
Where's Jethro going in such an all-fire hurry, bellowing like a bee-stung calf?
He's going into town, Granny. Cousin Jake here done made that boy a movie star.
Well, then, Cousin Jake here can just do that boy's chores.
Granny, movie stars don't do chores like common, ordinary people. They do a lot of special stuff like getting shot off of horses and whooping a whole saloon full of bad men. Ain't that right, Jake?
Quite right. Well, now, if you'll excuse me...
You see, Granny, that's the kind of stuff he does.
I still say he ain't no Hoop Gibson.
Ooh-wee, ain't that a pretty automobile?
Well, now that you're going to be an important movie producer, you deserve the best.
You mean this is for me?
With my compliments.
Oh, you hadn't ought to done that. I ain't no movie producer.
Oh, you certainly are. You're financing my picture, and that makes us partners. You own 20... I am cutting you in for 10% of the profits.
No, that sure is nice of you.
Jake, I've been looking all up. Whose car?
His.
Your husband just bought it for me.
With what?
With the profits from our picture.
Yes, ma'am. He's going to star my nephew, Jethro Bodine.
Who?
Well, among others, dear, among others. I'm also trying to get Rock Hudson, Doris Day, Cary Grant, Liz Taylor.
That's a dandy idea. Give a lot of new folks a chance.
Oh, Granny says Jethro's gonna be a movie star. Well, I want to be a movie star, too.
Well, right here's a fella can do it. Was him discovered Jethro.
How about it, Uncle Jake? Can I be a movie star like Jethro?
Like Jethro? Yes.
It's entirely possible, my dear. With that figure... I figure that with right clothes and makeup, you could be sensational. Opal, take Cousin Jed's daughter into town in Cousin Jed's new car and get her glamorized.
At Cousin Jed's expense?
Darling, he's producing the picture. Now run along, girls.
Spend all the money you need, ma'am. Turn her into a first-class movie star, a regular Lillian Gish.
Papa, thank you, Uncle Jake.
Glad to do it.
Well, I sure am beholden to you, cousin.
My pleasure, cousin.
Where's Honey Man? She just got the floor half scrubbed and she run out.
She won't be back for a spell, Granny. Cousin Jake here done made that girl a movie star, too.
Well, then Cousin Jake can just doggone finish the floor.
Granny, like I tried to explain to you, movie stars just don't do ordinary labor.
That's right. Thank you. Well, I'll see you later.
He's getting better every time, Granny.
I still say he ain't no Hoop Gibson. Jed Clampett. You're gonna rue the day you let them two Hollywood slickers move into your house.
Granny, I don't hardly think you ought to call Cousin Jake and his woman Hollywood slickers.
Well, you tell me. What kind of folks lay in bed till after sunup and stays up till 9 or 10 at night?
I got some more wood to cut.
And goes around turning young'uns' head, telling them they're gonna be movie stars. And then they run off from home and leave their chores.
Folks, get ready for the treat of a lifetime. I would like to present Hollywood's newest and most glamorous star, that queen of the silver screen, that dazzling beauty, Miss Venus Adore.
Howdy, ma'am.
Howdy, Paul.
Holy jumping toad gizzards, it's Ellie Mae.
What was it you called her?
Venus Adore. That will be her screen name.
Well, Jed, have you seen and heard enough? Do you want me to take my shotgun to that rascal?
I think I hear my wife calling. If you'll excuse me, please.
I thought I'd better keep the engine running just in case. Jump in. They'll never catch you.
Oh, very funny, very funny. If I could just figure a way to get around Granny, I'd have it made. Say, did you ever hear of Hoot Gibson? Must be a rock and roll singer.
Oh, no. Hoot Gibson used to be a Western star in the old silent days. My mother used to talk about him.
Western, so that's what she's so hepped on, with all that talk about Buck Jones, Dustin Farnham.
Ah! Clear out of here, you varmint!
Oh, did you see that? We have found her. We have found the dance hall queen for the new Hoot Gibson picture.
Jay, come on.
Opal, take her down to Western Costumes immediately and have her outfitted for the role of Straight Shootin' Jean, the dance hall queen. Oh, I can see that big scene now, with her sitting on the piano singing her song, and Hoot Gibson comes riding into the saloon on his horse, sweeps her up into his arms, and rides off into...
Hold on. You're just wasting time standing there giving me talk like that.
I am?
Yeah! Let's get going, Opal. If Hoot Gibson needs me, he's got me.
Don't you like me as a movie siren, Paul?
Well, yeah, Ellie, of course I do. You're something to see. I bet you're going to be a bigger movie star than Pearl White. Of course, you're going to look a lot better when you get your hair fixed.
Oh, it is fixed.
Hey, you don't say.
Cousin Jed! I think you better come out here. Some crazy kid is racing up down your driveway on a motorcycle. Look out!
That there was Jethro. Oh, boy.
Jethro, listen, you can't ride those things in the house.
Wait till Granny sees Jethro ride that thing.
Wait till she sees Cousin Jake. Even Hoot Gibson don't do trick riding no better than that.
Gee, we weren't expecting you back for a couple of days. How was the trip?
Fine. How the Clampett?
Oh, fine. That is to say, fine now. There was a little mix-up the day you left, but...
No, what kind of a mix-up?
Seems there are two J.D. Clampetts back here. Jay Clappett's an out-of-work actor who is habitually overdrawn. His statement was sent to Jed Clampett by mistake.
Oh, no.
Oh, Chief, it's all been rectified now. The two are now friends. In fact, Jake and his wife are visiting at the Clampett mansion.
Hello? Who's this?
This is J.D. Clampett. Who's this?
This is Milburn Drysdale, president of the Commerce Bank. Are you the actor?
Yes, but I already have the financing for my new picture. My cousin, Jed Clampett, is putting up the whole $10 million. Try me next time. All right, Granny, let's try it again.
He rode into the dance hall, scooped up his straight shooting jeans. Then he rode out from them swinging doors with his pretty was her man. He was taking her home.
Hello. Look, Mr. Drysdale, we are very busy rehearsing for the new picture. Hello. Listen, you crook. Hello.
Something amiss, Chief? Chief, my woman's intuition tells me all is not well.
You are fired.
I was right.
As soon as you drive me up to the Clampetts.
A reprieve.
Duke, I'm right perplexed. First Ellie, then Jethro, now Granny, all acting like there was chickens got into the corn man.
Hi, Uncle Jed.
Of course, I could anger myself up and put a stop to the whole thing, but I'd much rather they'd see for themselves how darn foolish they look.
Uncle Jed, look, no hand.
I don't know about you, Duke, but it's getting too noisy for me out here.
Now, I'm going to show you the Stanislavski method of acting. Make your mind a complete blank, and we'll start from there. Excellent. Now, become a tree.
Tree?
Yes, think tree. You're green, and you're leafy, and you have branches like this.
Howdy, Pa. Howdy, do.
Come on, Duke. I don't hardly know her myself.
Here comes that nut on the motorcycle.
Hey, Stella, what do you say, baby? You want to drag me in that heap?
See here, you young hoodlum.
Jethro, get off that thing.
I got split. I see you, Stella.
That was Jethro?
I'm afraid it was.
Mr. Clampett, I want to talk to you. Let's go inside.
Things is worse in there than they is out here.
Well, why don't you both get in? You can talk while I drive.
That's a dandy idea.
Come on, Duke.
But, Mr. Clampett, even if he is your cousin, you can't let this foolishness continue.
I'd be right pleasured if my family would just go back to acting like my family again.
They probably don't realize how ridiculous they appear to others.
I tried hinting at it, but it just don't seem to take a hold.
Now, the lure of show business has turned many a head.
Chief, if I solve this problem, may I have my job back?
With a raise.
Hang on, everyone. Here we go. All right, let's have it quiet.
Hey, Stella! What is the scoop?
Where's Pa?
Mr. Drysdale will explain everything. Ready, Chief?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Mr. Jake Clampett here, his cousin Jed has decided to get into show business like the rest of you. And so, without further ado, allow me to present the newest sensation of the entertainment world, Jed Clampett!
Well, baby, oh, baby, oh, well, baby, yeah, baby, well, baby, oh, yeah,
I declare, Ellie, the Pa's acting like a darn fool. Sure does look funny.
oh, baby, yeah, baby,
And he's making a noise like a stepped-on frog.
yeah, baby.
I reckon the men folks in this family just ain't got good sense.
I wouldn't talk so much if I was you two. You look pretty darn foolish yourself.
Well, so do you. You know something? I guess we all look darn foolish.
Folks, next number is a special for my cousin Jake here, because it was him made me what I am right now. Well, baby, well, baby, well, baby, well, baby, oh, baby, oh, baby, well, baby, well, baby, yeah, baby, yeah, baby, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, well, baby, oh, baby,
You're marvelous!
yeah, baby,
Mr. Clark!
oh, baby,
Mr.
oh,
Clapper, you can stop now.
yeah, baby.
Oh, no. Now he's hooked on show business.
Oh, baby. Yeah, baby.
Mr. Clapper!
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Kinda had you scared there for a minute, didn't I?
Can you stuff a turkey good, Billy boy, Billy boy? Can you stuff a turkey good for Thanksgiving? She can stuff a turkey good like a turkey stuffer should, but she's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Can she roast a turkey brown? Don't pay no attention to what Granny's singing, Turkey. Where'd you go? Here, Turkey, Turkey. Here, Turkey, Turkey. Don't be scared. Granny don't mean no harm. See, I brought you some nice stuffing. I mean bread.
Is she fixing gravy too, Billy boy, fixing giblet gravy too for Thanksgiving? Yes, she's fixing gravy too, like her mama used to do. She's a young thing and cannot leave her mother. Can she bake a pumpkin pie, Billy? Hold on, Ellie.
Oh, morning, Pa.
What you got there?
Oh, this here's a raccoon named Elmer.
Billy May.
Yes, sir, Pa.
I know that's a raccoon named Elmer. What you got in the sack?
What sack?
Sack you toting?
Sack I'm toting?
Yeah, the sack that turkey just stuck his head out of.
Don't just stay out of sight.
Hey, come here.
Yes, sir, Pa.
Ellie Mae, I told you not to go friendly enough with that turkey bird so close before Thanksgiving.
Well, it wasn't me, Pa. It was Elmer here.
Was it Elmer chucked him in that sack?
Well, he didn't do it alone. I kind of helped him.
Kind of helped him take him out and put him back in his pen. Mr. Drysdale gave us that bird for a meal, not a pet.
He's awful smart, Pa, and friendly, too. Well, I learned him to shake hands.
Well, Ellie, he ain't likely to be going into politics.
I'll just take him out of the sack, and he can shake hands with you.
I don't want to shake his hand. What's going to happen to him is bad enough without him thinking a friend done it to him. Put him back and leave him be.
Yes, sir, Pa. Come on, Elmer. Let's put poor old Herman back in the pen.
Herman. I declare, Duke, if Mr. Drysdale give us a string of weenies, that girl make pets out of them.
Jed, can I borrow that old hound dog for a minute?
Well, sure, Granny. What for?
The turkey got away, and I want old Duke to sniff out his trail.
Oh, you don't need old Duke, Granny.
Yes, I do, Jed. My nose ain't what it used to be.
It was Ellie let Herman out, the turkey.
Herman? Don't tell me she's making a pet out of our Thanksgiving victuals, is she?
No, she's putting him back.
Well, that's better. It's been a whole year since the Drysdale sat down at the table with us, and we got to put on the dog.
Don't worry, Duke. When folks says they're putting on a dog, it just means they're doing things fancy.
Yeah, Duke. Like dressing up in your Sunday go-to-meeting best and having victuals in the fancy eating room.
That reminds me, I told Jethro to put the company chairs around the fancy eating table. Let's go and see how he's doing.
Didn't aim to scare you, Duke. Come on now. Get them worry wrinkles out of your head. Us old folks has got to stick together.
Uncle Jed, Granny, Ellie, me, Mr. Drysdale, Mrs. Drysdale, Miss Jane.
How's it coming, Jethro?
Oh, fine, Uncle Jed.
My doggy, there's one thing you got to say about the folks out here. They believe in building a good, strong eating table. Why, you could serve up a whole barbecued steer on this thing and not bow it down.
Oh, yes, sir. Hey, you remember that little feller that came home from school with me the other day?
Yeah?
Well, he says this here room is what you call a billiard room. And this here table is what you call a billiard table. And you know what I got figured out?
What?
This here rascal must be what you call a billiard.
Hey, doggy. I always wondered what that critter was.
Mean looking, ain't he?
That's a fact. Judging from the size of his head, he must be monstrous big. I reckon that's why they had to build an extra strong table.
You reckon we could shoot one of these sometime?
They live around here in Beverly Hills?
I reckon so. This little feller says his pa shoots billiards a couple nights a week.
Kind of a night, do they?
Yes, sir.
I ain't so sure I'd want to run into him in the dark.
Awful ugly, huh?
Well, maybe that's one good thing about catching us a billiard. I don't reckon even Elliot would want to make a pet out of him. Well, Granny, I'm ready for that gobbler.
Oh, praise be. If we leave him around Ellie much longer, he'll be wanting dessert and coffee with his meals.
All right now, Herman. You ain't gonna let him scare you no more. Is it a deal? Attaboy. Now, you do your best to make friends with everybody.
Hallie Mae, would you do me a favor?
Well, sure, Pa.
Would you, shinny up that walnut tree out back there and pick me a nice big sack of nuts?
I sure will, Pa, and you can visit with Herman.
Yeah. Hmm? Well, now, Herman, Mr. Gobbler, I reckon the quicker we get this over with, the better. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't usually refuse a hand offered in friendship, but in this case, I just got a feeling it wouldn't be lasting. No hard feelings. I got nothing against you. You're, as turkeys go, I reckon you're right up there with the best, but... I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't look at me like that. Oh, what's the use? I can't do it. Reckon we just gotta shoot us one of them billiards for Thanksgiving. That there is what you call a Beverly Hills billiard.
I don't care what you call it. I ain't gonna cook it.
Granny, the folks that live here before us must have found it pretty tasty. This here table was built just special for billiards.
I don't care. Anything that looks that mean gotta taste mean. Besides, it's too big to cook.
I could dig you a barbecue pit out back.
No, sir. Mr. Drysdale give us a turkey, and I got the stuffing made. And by digs, I want that turkey cleaned and dressed and no more foolishness.
I'm sorry, Granny, I just can't do it. Maybe Jethro can. He ain't got acquainted with Herman like I have.
Do what, Granny?
Clean and dress a turkey. Can you do it?
I reckon so.
Well, get at it. It's back of the kitchen in that pen.
Yes, ma'am.
I declare, I never thought I'd see the day that Jed Clampett was scared to kill a turkey. Heaven help him if he ever meets up with a billiard.
Hey, Granny, I got the turkey all cleaned and dressed.
Fetch him in. I'm ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Put him in the pan. What in tarnation? Do you call that dressing a turkey?
Well, I did the best I could. I didn't have no clothes that'd fit him. I borrowed them clothes from a little fella down the street. I think he's kind of cute myself. So does he. He even shook my hand.
Well, howdy there, Miss Jane.
Greetings, Mr. Clampett. I wonder if I might borrow one of Granny's ancient outdoor cooking pots.
Well, you bet you can. But ain't you taking Thanksgiving victuals with us?
Oh, yes, indeed. I merely wanted to borrow the venerable vessel as a photographic prop. You see, Mr. and Mrs. Drysdale are posing as Governor and Mrs. Bradford in a recreation of the first Thanksgiving some 342 years ago, when the Algonquins Squanto and Massasoit befriended the beleaguered Pilgrims and so made it possible to perpetuate the Plymouth colony and bring into being what is now one of the most important holidays in the American calendar.
What was it you wanted again?
A pot.
Oh, yeah. I'll fetch you right out.
Milburn, hurry! Oh, here you are. So sorry for the delay. Miss Hathaway is out getting a kettle, and Mr. Drysdale doesn't have his costume on as yet. Pale-faced squaw, descendant of pilgrims. Red brother bring turkey for feast. Me grateful to Red brother. Milburn, hurry!
What was she talking about?
As near as I can figure, she's got a brother who's a communist.
What nation you from? You from Mohican? Kennebec? Algonquin? Where are you from?
Central casting.
Now you go and take the head off of that gobbler.
I just can't do that to a critter that keeps wanting to shake my hand.
What is the matter with you? Why, back home you used to bring home a great big gobbler every Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but they was wild turkeys that hunted and shot out in the woods. They had a sporting chance.
Well, then you take iron out and turn it loose in the woods and hunt it.
Dang it, I think you got an idea there.
I hope so. When the Drysdale come to eat, they want to see that bird sitting on the table, not at it.
Oh, sorry to keep noble chiefs waiting. Husband not in costume yet. If Indian thirsty, pale-faced squaw, be happy, bring refreshment.
Crazy, I'll have a beer.
Make mine a dry martini.
Indian want fire water?
Very dry. 10 fire water to 1 vermouth.
Hey, where y'all going with Herman?
Oh, Jethro and me's taking him out in the woods to go hunting.
Oh, good, he'll like that.
Hey, you want to go hunting with us, Ellie? I brung Granny's shotgun.
Well, no, Ellie can't do that. She's got to take them walnuts into her granny. And then she's got to go find her granny some hickory nuts.
Well, where, Pa? I ain't seen a single hickory tree on this whole place.
Well, why don't you try over to the Drysdale? They might just have one.
Yes, sir.
Why, they ain't got none to
Hurry with the hickory nuts. Drive on, Jethro. Bye, Ellie.
Bye. Have a good time, Herman.
There. We're going to have a very authentic reproduction of the first Thanksgiving. Massasoits? And you are Squanto.
No, lady. That's the clown that rides around with the Lone Ranger.
Hi-ho!
No, I won't do it. I won't.
Please, Milburn.
Not have my picture taken in this ridiculous getup.
But it'll be in the society section tomorrow.
Oh, no, it won't.
Please, Redskin help pale-faced squaw.
Pale-faced squaw, speak with forked tongue. No bring redskin firewater.
Hot, Miss Hathaway, quickly. 1 beer and 1 firewater. Dry martini.
I could use one of those myself.
Grab him!
No.
Oh, Milburn, I'll fix you a drink myself. I just don't want you disappearing again.
Let go of me.
Sorry, mister. You no pose, we no get paid.
Come on, hold still.
She's a young thing.
Granny! Reds with him this morning when him and Pa went hunting.
Ah, just like my granny always said. Them Redskins wait until the men folks disappear with the guns, and then they attack.
What do we do, Granny?
We'll fight them tooth and nail. We'll sell our scalps dear. Come on, child, but protect your hair.
Now then, happy pilgrims, happy Algonquin. Chief, you look terrible.
What do you want for this kind of dough? Custer's last stand?
Oh, no. I meant my chief, Mr. Drysdale. Now then, everyone, smile. Smile. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. Ah, excellent.
Goodbye, all.
Wait, Milburn. The next is the most important picture of all, where the Indians give us the turkey.
Oh, Margaret.
I shall reload the camera while you get the bird.
Where is the turkey? It was in a crate right over there.
Well, that's the one you mean I gave to the Clampetts.
You what?
Well, they did invite us over for Thanksgiving dinner. It seemed the least I could do.
I am not eating with those dreadful people.
Then I am not posing for these dreadful pictures.
Please, Milburn, go get the turkey back.
Oh, they'll think I'm an Indian giver. No offense, fellas.
Then I'll get it.
Oh, no. I'm not going to have you insulting them.
Look, tell us where the turkey is and we'll get it.
At the Clampetts, right through that hedge.
Right through there? Come on, friend. Right through there.
Oh, tell them you just want to borrow it. They can have it back.
There's two of them coming through the hedge. They ain't toting guns. We'll hide and ambush them. Remember now, don't let them grab your hair. Jump in! Where'd everybody go? Come on, let's fight! Let's fight!
Well, I reckon we gotta go in and face Granny.
She's gonna be powerful mad.
Yeah, but Ellie's gonna be powerful happy. With Herman, that's two happies to one mad.
I'm kind of happy myself.
So am I, Jethro. Well, let's get him around the back. You fetch the gun. Come on, Herman. Outside of a politician, I ain't never seen any critter so all-fired anxious to shake a man's hand.
Keep a sharp lookout, Ellie. Them Redskins is tricky rascals.
Yes'm, Granny.
Keep quiet, you! Don't you try to signal the rest of your tribe. Lay down! You hair-stealing varmint!
Granny, I hear something. It's a turkey gobble. There it is again.
Don't let it fool you, child. That's an old Indian trick. They're sneaking up to attack.
Elkie, here comes Pa and Jethro with the guns.
We saved! We saved, Ellie! We saved! We saved!
We saved!
Oh, quick! Let him in before they get an arrow in the back. Now you're gonna get it, you red devils!
Granny, what tarnation you got here?
Some bloodthirsty savages, that's what we got here. And don't you never go off and leave us without any firearms, unless you want to come home and find a couple of bald-headed women.
Yeah, they tried to scalp us, and we jumped them first.
Well, how in the world could there be wild Indians in Beverly Hills?
Any place that can have them ornery-looking billiards can have Indians.
The next time you get me a job like this, I want stuntman's pay.
Injun, I reckon you better stay till my Uncle Jed says you can go.
Oy vey is me.
Anybody understand Indian talk? Here, have a slug of Granny's rheumatism medicine.
Thank you.
Get the kinks out of your joints.
So, here you are, lollygagging while we're waiting. And you, always after the firewater. You'll never work for me again.
If I do, I'll want to read the script first.
Me? Well, shame on you. No, I warned you not to come over here and insult these people.
I'm not insulting anybody. I'm being insulted.
Oh, baloney.
What's keeping everybody? The turkey's right outside.
Don't you dare touch Herman. Who's Herman?
Hold on. I want my money. Seems to me that Thanksgiving is a mighty poor time for folks to be yelling and arguing at one another. I realize we got a whole heap of misunderstandings to sort out, and I think we all ought to sit down and start sorting them out. Granny, this is mighty fine Thanksgiving victuals.
Best tasting fish I ever had.
What do you say this is called again, Chief?
Gefilte fish. My mother fixed it.
I'm dingy. You Indians sure do know how to cook.
That's a fact, Granny. That there chicken soup was the best ever.
Everything is delicious.
Marvelous dinner.
Delightful.
Herman and me sure like it, don't we, Herman?
By the way, Mr. Clampett, you know you're eating on a billiard table?
Yes, sir, I do. And next year, we're going to have us one of them rascals for Thanksgiving.
I still say I ain't gonna cook it.
Morning, Nellie.
Morning, Paul.
Where's your granny?
How about to see me in the pond?
Killing me. I'd like to strike up a bargain with you.
What's that, Paul?
If they won't eat in my kitchen, I won't eat in their tree.
Well, it ain't their fault they're in here. They'd heap rather eat in a tree.
Then why ain't they?
'Cause Granny's making soap on it. These poor little critters couldn't hardly stand it.
Yeah, Granny's lye soap of cooking does give off some right powerful fumes.
Miss Jane says it's commencing to kill Miss Drysdale's hibiscus.
What's a hibiscus?
Some kind of a flower plant. Miss Drysdale's got a prize one that sits right next to her patio.
Drysdale place does sit downwind of our pond, don't it?
Yes, sir.
I'll have to speak to Granny about cooking her soap someplace else. You know, I've seen them fumes bring a full-grown mule right down to her knees.
Hey, Granny, some more of the bark off this tree just fell into your soap.
That's all right, Jethro. It'll dissolve.
Hey, have you noticed some of the branches is turning to mite brown, puckering up?
Yeah, I reckon the bugs is after it.
Could it be your soap?
Nah, bugs won't go near my soap.
Oh, howdy, Miss Drysdale.
What's the matter, honey? You got the sniffles?
Oh, no, it's not that. Granny, could I speak to you over there?
Why, sure, honey, and don't you cry. Whatever's troubling you, I'm here to help you. Now. Dry them tears and tell old Granny what's got you to bawling like that.
It's your soap.
Oh, you can have all you want. Feel better now?
It's not that. It's the vapor.
Is it bad?
Yes. In fact, I've just had dreadful news from my nurseryman.
What'd he say?
He said, unless you do something, he's going to have to take out my hibiscus.
No! Oh, I'll help you. Don't let them go to cutting on you.
Morning, Miss Drysdale. I'm right sorry about your hibiscus.
Jed, maybe she'd rather not talk about it in front of you.
Oh, no, that's all right. I'm glad Mr. Clampett is here. As you know, your pool area practically adjoins my garden.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm giving a garden party this afternoon about 3. You will be through cooking soap and hanging wash by then, won't you?
Oh, can be, yeah.
Oh, please do. The very best people in Beverly Hills will be there. And I was hoping that you folks would cooperate.
Oh, we'd be glad to cooperate.
You betcha we will. But even with our help, should you be giving a party with your ailing hibiscus?
I shall rise above that.
Well, don't let him take it out. I'll doctor it back to health for you.
Thank you. Perhaps tomorrow. Now remember, the party is from 3 until about 5:30. And I'll appreciate it if all of you will be as inconspicuous as possible. Perhaps Jethro could drive you around in the truck.
Oh, no need to do that. We can walk over to your place.
And we'll be on time, too.
3 o'clock sharp.
Granny, this poor little critter just can't stand no more of your soft cooking.
Well, let him go some other place then.
Take him over your place for a while, Miss Drysdale.
Oh, bye, Miss Drysdale. You want some hot soap to take home with you? Your soap's done, Granny. It's commencing to thicken.
I'll put the fire out.
Thank you, Jeb. Now, Ellie, get rid of that skunk and start taking down the clothes. We gotta all pitch in and help Miss Drysdale with her party.
Is she having a party?
She is with our help. Poor woman. She has an ailing hibiscus.
I know, Miss Jane told me.
Hey, Granny, what's a hibiscus?
Never mind, that's doctor's talk.
Well, we've been studying the human body over to school, but we ain't never studied that.
Of course not. That's for grown-ups. Now get this. No, Ellie. It's a long time since I run into anyone with an ailing hibiscus.
It has?
Yeah. A funny thing. Not everybody has them in the same place.
Well, I reckon that's so.
Yeah. Did Miss Jane happen to mention where Miss Drysdale's is?
Yes, ma'am, Granny. She says it's right next to her patio.
Yeah, that's where the generally is. A right awkward place to poultice, too.
I might add that the construction of high-rise buildings in the Beverly Hills area is a contributory factor in the financial Who let these tramps in? Get out of here!
See here, you derelict! You're... Mrs. Drysdale! Ravenswood!
Here, Milburn, have a scotch. That's only a toy. I was handed the real thing.
Margaret, what's the meaning of this masquerade?
It's a graphic illustration of what will happen this afternoon unless you do something about those hillbillies.
What do you mean?
They're going to crash my formal garden party.
Oh, nonsense. They couldn't care less about that tea-sipping poodle pack you run with.
That's true. I think they've been invited. And I warn you, Milburn, if they ruin my garden party...
No, Margaret, will you relax, dear? I'll solve this problem just as I've solved dozens of others. Now, you and Ravenswood run along home and I'll handle everything, all right?
All right.
Sir. And please take the freight elevator.
Tell me, Chief, just how do you plan to solve this problem?
Just as I've solved dozens of others, I'm turning it over to you.
Come on, get away from here. I got victuals to cook for Miss Drysdale's garden party.
What's a garden party, Granny?
Well, I ain't sure I know. You, Jed?
Yeah, I've been studying on it some. I think I got it figured.
What you got figured?
Well, when folks has a barn-raising party, everybody comes over and helps you build a barn. When you have a quilting party, everybody gets together and makes a quilt. So I reckon when you got a garden party, everybody comes over and makes a garden.
That figures.
Jethro, you and me got to get the shovel and the spade and the tater fork all honed up nice and bright. Chances are these Beverly Hills Society folks is going to show up with some fancy, shiny tools. Come on.
Just a minute. Just a doggone minute.
What's the matter?
Well, when I wanted to plow up our front yard and make a garden, it was the Drysdale that said I had an order. Now, how come they's making one?
I think I got that figured.
What you got figured?
I hear tell Miss Drysdale is overpowering fond of flowers. I reckon she wants to make a flower garden.
Yeah, that figures.
I reckon so.
Come on, Jethro. There's ground to be turned.
Yeah, that figures. Oh, howdy, Miss Jane. It's good to see you. Kid, put an edge on this thing while I have a little private talk with Miss Jane.
Here, Granny.
Now, what is it, Granny?
I promised Miss Drysdale that I would do my best to doctor her hibiscus.
Oh, that's wonderful of you. I know she's terribly worried about it.
Yeah, the poor thing was crying the last time I seen her. Tell me, just how bad is it?
Well, I'd say it's about half gone.
No!
Yes, one side is withered and turned brown.
Oh, this is going to take some doing to save that.
Yes, the nurseryman is in favor of just taking it out completely.
No! I told Miss Drysdale that. Don't let him do that. Cutting something out is the last resort.
No, I'm sure Mrs. Drysdale agrees with you. She wants desperately to save it. She's had 2 blue ribbons on it.
Don't you tell her I told you. That ain't going to help nothing.
There you are, Granny. You can split a frog's hair with that.
Oh, thank you, Jed. Come on out to the kitchen, Miss Jane. I'm mincing me some crawdads for Miss Drysdale's party.
Oh, no, wait. That's what I want to talk to you about. Please don't go.
What?
What?
And disappoint Miss Drysdale?
Just when she needs us?
And we give our promise?
Please believe me, you will not enjoy it.
Well, this is a poor time for us to be thinking of our own enjoyment when you know who has got a withered you know what.
Jeb, everything's honed and sharpened.
Howdy, Miss Jane. Are you going to the party?
No, Ellie, and I hope none of you will go either.
What? What's got into you?
Now, hold on, everybody. I'll handle this. Miss Jane, you know how fond we are of you. You've been a good friend to us, but I reckon the time has come when we got to do what we know is right, and we're going to that party.
All right, if you insist. But you can't go to a garden party in those clothes.
Oh, of course not. We're going to put on our old clothes.
Old clothes?
Yes, ma'am. You can't expect us to do gardening work in our good clothes.
But you don't garden at a formal garden party.
What do you do?
Stand around and sip tea and listen to music and boring conversation. Now, do you still insist upon going? All right, but first, will you do one thing for me? Chief, I would like you to meet a society family who are on their way to your wife's formal garden party.
Are you kidding? I've got no time for those professional tea tasters.
I think you're going to like these people.
Entree.
Howdy, Mr. Drysdale.
Jed Clampett. Ellie Mae. Jethro. And Granny. Can that be you?
I ain't sure. You don't look like me.
Miss Hathaway, how did you do it?
Well, Chief, the fact that the bank held a mortgage on a certain movie studio was a great help.
Mr. Drysdale, you coming to the party?
Well, I don't ordinarily, but I will today.
Well, we see you there.
Bye.
So long. Goodbye.
He don't act a bit worried about his wife's hibiscus.
He couldn't care less. His wife's the one with the green thumb.
Oh, sure that's where it is.
Oh, hello, Millicent. So glad you could come.
Come on, Uncle Jed, the party's starting. Hear that music?
Yeah, but we got to wait for our women, folks, Jethro.
How come they's late?
Women is always late, Jethro.
How come?
No man can answer that. Probably no women neither.
There sure is a lot of pretty girls over there at the party. Can I sweet-talk me one, Uncle Jed?
Chances are she'd be with a feller.
If I whoop the fella, can I sweet-talk her then?
No, Jethro, this being our first Beverly Hills High Society garden party, I reckon we ought to just watch the folks and not go to scrapping. Unless, of course, everybody else does. In which case, be careful of your borrowed clothes.
Yes, sir.
Elmer and me's ready.
Hey, I don't recall Elmer being invited to the party.
Can I take him, please, Pa?
Oh, I reckon not, Ellie.
No fighting or scrapping, neither.
Well, this party sure ain't gonna be much fun.
Oh, yes, it is. I make sure of that.
Remember now, Granny's rheumatism medicine is just for old folks with rheumatism.
For not so old folks who want to ward it off. Providing, of course, they's married.
Well, come on, everybody, let's load up and cut through the hedge and get to the party.
Bye, Elmer.
Dorothy, all the way to Santa Barbara. How lovely. Oh, I beg your pardon, gentlemen. Have we met?
I hope to kiss the pig we have.
He's your next-door neighbor.
Our smelling salts.
Looks like we got here in the nick of time. She's looking a little peaked.
You leave everything to us, honey. All right, you young'uns, get them chitlins and that crawdad dip on the table over there.
Crawdad dip?
It's finger-licking good, ma'am, and so is these little hot possum sausages. Just a swimming in hog renderings. Don't burn yourself.
Anything tastes good after a few swigs of this.
Really would help.
Granny always brings a couple of jugs to barn raisins and quilting parties.
I've seen a jug of this razor barn pretty near single-handed.
And it gets credit for some right crazy quilts, too.
You want me to put these on the table, Uncle Jed?
Yeah, Jethro, but pass the word around. Nobody to touch it but married folks.
Now, what can we do to help you the most?
How soon did she say the overflow would commence to overflowing over here?
She didn't say no particular time, Jethro, but when it commences, we's in charge of it.
I'll see how it's going over there.
My possum sausages will be stone cold.
Really? Want me to take them in and put them on the stove for you first, Bill?
Thank you, Ellie. But be careful. Don't splatter any hog renderings on your party dress.
I won't, baby.
I don't blame them young'uns for getting restless. I'm getting a mite squirmy myself.
Me too.
Granny, I'd ask you to dance, but that is the sorriest dancing music I ever listened to.
Only one thing sorrier.
What's that?
It's stuff they call fruit punch.
It don't have much body to it.
Tastes like it was drawed off a barrel of rainwater that some apples dropped into it.
Pitiful.
Kid, you know what that stuff needs, don't you?
I sure do.
At least the overflow folks will get their whistle wet proper.
Uncle Jed.
How's the party going, Jethro?
Terrible. Everybody's just standing around. The only one moving's that fiddler player.
He's moving?
Yeah, he keeps walking up to different people playing in their faces, and they still won't dance.
Well, it ain't altogether their fault, Jethro. He plays that thing like he's stove up with rheumatism.
Uncle Jed, I'm getting tired of standing around these here clothes. Can I go swimming?
Yeah, I reckon so, Jethro. Granny and me take care of the overflow.
Yeah! Judging from what showed up so far, that alligator in the pond can handle them. Alligator!
Granny, that ain't no... Granny!
Thought I seen that varmint this morning, but I wasn't sure.
Granny! That ain't no real live alligator.
It ain't now. I blowed a hole in him you could swim a catfish through.
Granny, I reckon it's a mite late to be telling you now, but...
Hey! Hey, what happened? Everybody all right?
Howdy, young feller. My name is Jed Clampett.
Kirk Massey.
And this here's Granny.
Howdy.
How do you do?
Hey, we've been listening to you sawing on that thing. Kind of sluggish, ain't it?
Well, that's what they want over there.
Well, it ain't what we want over here. Now, come on. We got the overflow here. Come on, let's liven things up a little bit.
Well, may I have some of the punch for
I
it first?
recommend it. Come on, everybody, get some punch. Here comes the hot sausages. This here is my daughter, Ellie Mae, and that young fella carrying the sausages is my nephew, Jethro.
Well, howdy.
Wow. Hey, Fred. Howdy.
Wow, Hey, Doris.
Hey, fellas.
Ravenswood, did you find anyone in the house?
No, madam. It's as deserted as the garden.
Oh.
Madam, might I have the rest of the afternoon off?
What? Oh, yes, I suppose so.
Oh, thank you, madam.
Party over so soon?
It's only 4:30.
Those dreadful hillbillies have stolen all my guests, all 300 of them.
Can I see you for a minute?
Careful of her hibiscus, Jed.
Danny party, Miss Drydale.
Thank you, Mr. Clampett.
You wait here. I'll go and see Mr. Drydale.
Letter to Mrs. Radner Fenwick. In reply to yours of the 10th, seeking capital for your contemplated housing development.
Mrs. Fenwick is seeking capital with her millions?
Well, she's too smart a businesswoman to take the whole risk herself.
Excuse me, someone to see you.
I told you no interruptions.
I told you no interruptions.
Sorry, Mr. Clampett, no interruptions.
Clampett! Well, come in, come in.
Well, I don't want to be no bother.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to see you, Mr. Clampett. Coffee for Mr. Clampett.
Coffee for Mr. Clampett.
You help.
Well, now, don't make no fuss over me.
Oh, it's my privilege to make a fuss over you, Mr. Clampett. I was going over your account just this morning. And do you realize that now you have almost $40 million in my bank?
Well, I reckon that money of mine is getting to be a powerful nuisance to you.
What?
Well, I'm obliged you for storing it here, but it seems to me like I ought to be paying you rent or something.
Oh, no. I'm delighted to do it.
That's mighty kind of you. Now, I've come to ask you another favor.
More money to store?
No. I'd like you to get me one of them airplane tickets to go back home.
Oh, my pleasure. Home? Oh, you mean just for a little visit?
Oh, it's more than that.
Why, what's the matter? Did someone offend you? Was it my wife? Has she been shooting off her big Boston bazoo again?
Miss Drysdale, it wasn't that at all. Everybody's been surpassing good to us. Ellie Mae is the reason I want to go back to the hills.
Oh. Homesick, eh? Well, I tell you what. I'll have your cabin flown out here, log for log, and every tree and bush around it. And we'll put it in your backyard. Then we'll dig a creek, just like the one at home. And we'll stock the whole place with possum, raccoons, hound dogs, bobcats, and whatever Ellie wants. She could just run wild.
But that's what I moved out here to get Ellie away from. I was hoping you folks would turn her into a lady. But I think she's getting worse.
Coffee time!
You're to blame for this. It was your responsibility to turn that wild girl into a lady, and you failed.
What have you done now, you overdeveloped vixen?
Not her. I'm talking about Ellie Mae Clampett.
But
Wait,
she-
Mr. Drysdale, Miss Jean done the best she knowed how. Why, as a matter of fact, it was her that got Ellie her first ball gown.
That's true. By the way, I haven't seen that gown since. What happened to it?
Oh, you sure was right. Oh, Huggy, you don't have to wear boys' clothes to have fun with boys.
Hey, May, you promised me you wouldn't wrestle.
I ain't been wrestling.
And what have you been doing in your ball gown?
Doing what I'm supposed to do, playing ball. Oh, I made 2 touchdowns and kicked 3 field goals.
Granny gave that gown a good scrubbing with her lye soap and patched it, too. But it never looked quite the same after that.
Mr. Clampett, we have failed you. And when I say we, I mean you.
But she...
Don't argue with me.
What are you standing here for? There's work to be done.
But I just...
Don't argue with me.
Feel like I'm causing a lot of trouble for folks that ain't to blame. Now, if you just get me that airplane ticket...
No, Mr. Clampett. We'll work on Ellie Mae. We'll polish her.
No, Ellie Mae don't take a polish real easy.
We'll have to face it, gentlemen. Ellie Mae is a wildcat on wheels.
Oh, you heard about this morning, did you?
What?
Ellie being on wheels.
Wheels?
Granny and me was having a cup of coffee. And all of a sudden, we heard this roaring noise.
If that's Jethro riding his fire-spitting bicycle again, I'm going to take a hickory stick to him.
Thank you, Granny. Want to go for a ride?
Sweet-smelling polecats. That was Ellie Mae.
Shut that door, Jed. I'll cut through this way and snatch her off that contraption and paddle her big Jed.
Granny, carry her away!
No, I won't.
Hold on, Granny, I'm coming. I never would have caught her if she hadn't rode that thing into the cement pond.
Oh, poor Granny.
When I pulled her out, she was madder than a wet hen. Wetter, too. Right then, her and me decided that what Ellie needed was a full-time mom.
You mean you're getting married?
Oh, I got to, for Ellie's sake. That's the reason I need that airplane ticket. I'm fixing to go home and court myself a hill woman.
How about a Beverly Hill woman?
Oh, these fine city women wouldn't look twice at a grizzled-up old mountain goat like me.
What are you talking about? Mr. Clampett, you are one of the most eligible bachelors in this entire city.
When word gets out that J.D. Clampett is seeking a bride, there will be women beating down your door.
Might be a good test for him. It'd take a strong one to handle Ellie. That's the reason I think I'd best do my courting back home, and the quicker the better.
No. Let me take care of everything. I guarantee I will find the woman right here in Beverly Hills. And today...
Well, that's mighty nice of you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Chief, I am as eager as you to find Mr. Clampett a mate locally. But should you have guaranteed to find him one today?
I'm not worried. Beside me, stalwart and true as always, I have the finest secretary in the world.
Thank you, Chief.
A loyal and dedicated girl, to whom responsibility is a sacred word. A girl who will never fail me when duty calls.
Thank you, Chief.
You'll make Jed Clampett a fine wife.
Me? I?
You.
But, Chief, I promised to Jethro.
Oh? Who promised you?
Me? I.
Excuse me, Mr. Drysdale.
Hey, what about her?
Oh, she's too young for Mr. Clampett.
I mean for Jethro. You're for Mr. Clampett.
What is it, Janet?
The guard downstairs just phoned to say that Mrs. Radnor Fenwick is on her way up to see you.
Oh, yes. It must be about that new housing development. She's... Hey, wait a minute. She's a widow.
Chief, Mrs. Fenwick and Mr. Clampett have absolutely nothing in common.
Are you kidding? They've got $100 million in common. And if I can get them together, I can have it all right here in my bank.
I'm looking for the office of the president. Mr. Pyersdale or Skyrsdale or something.
Welcome.
Oh, you're Mr. Flysdale.
At your service, madam.
Very well, Beasley. Bring in the maps and the blueprints.
Let me take your money.
Mink. Howdy do, ma'am. My name is Jed Clampett, and Mr. Drysdale, my neighbor, said you're primed for a little courting. I brung the guitar, and if we can set in your porch swing out yonder, I'll take a crack at serenading you. Excuse me, ma'am. I ain't done no active serenading and courting in nigh on to 20 years. Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my
Jed?
darling.
What's all this nonsense about you courting a city woman?
Well, it was Mr. Drysdale's idea.
Well, it ain't worth shucks. City women is spoiled rotten.
Mr. Drysdale's gonna cull through a bunch of them and trot out the best of the lot.
All they think about is smearing themselves with beauty grease, fancy-smelling renderings. Why, if you was to hug one of them, she'd squirt out of your arms like a prune pit.
Well, at my age, I don't figure to do a whole heap of hugging.
What do you mean, your age? Why, you're a fine figure of a man. A heap too good for these Beverly Hills society women.
Jed Clampett speaking. Oh, howdy, Mr. Drysdale. You got any prospects for me?
Indeed, I have. Ever hear of Mrs. Radner Fenwick of Fenwick House?
Fenwick, Fenwick? Oh, yeah, that's the widow Fenwick. Got the skinny daughter named Cynthia.
That's the one. And she's very interested in you, Mr. Clampett. Very interested indeed.
Well, you don't say. Granny, you remember the widow Fenwick?
Yeah, and you ain't gonna get no dowry out of her. She's poor as a church mouse.
Oh, Drysdale. That's Drysdale, Mrs. Fenwick. D-R-Y, Drive.
Yes, so am I. How about some tea?
Good idea.
Well, what news?
Mr. Clampett is very interested indeed.
Just how interested? I will need $10 million to get this project rolling.
Well, I believe I could recommend that as a good, sound investment.
Splendid.
Provided you and Mr. Clampett hit it off personally.
Personally, this is business.
Well, Mr. Clampett is that kind of man. And it is important that his family like you, too.
I've no time to socialize with those eccentric hillbillies. I have here my general contractor's license. I'm ready to start bulldozing.
Mrs. Fenwick, both you and I know that those first $10 million are very hard to come by.
Oh. Very well, but remember one thing. I control this honeymoon lane venture. I'm not having anyone tell me what to do with their money.
Jed, I still say that you ought to go back home to do your courting, where the woman could bring you a dowry. You can bet dollars to dumplings that widow Fenwick ain't gonna come through that door leading no big fat sow.
Well, now, Granny, a dowry ain't everything. Widow's got experience. She raised a daughter of her own. You remember Skinny Cynthia?
I do. Here's your courting candy, Uncle Jed.
Oh, thank you, Jethro. Put it in the truck and put my guitar in there, too. Because Ellie fetches my flowers, I want you to drive me over to the widow Fenwick's.
Is that who you're gonna court?
That's what I'm starting with.
Well, Uncle Jed, now that you're here in Beverly Hills, why don't you court one of them Hollywood movie stars?
Well, if things don't work out with the widow, I might just ask Mr. Drysdale, can he fix it so I can meet Lillian Gish? Maybe even Mary Pickford.
Now you're talking dowry. I bet you that Mary Pickford is good for a herd of milk cows and a barn full of setting hens.
Appears like they still living in this little house. Still got the name on it, big as life.
Yeah, poor but proud. Hey, Uncle Jed, I got an idea. How about me going inside with you and courting Cynthia while you court the widow?
I don't hardly think there's room in that little house to do double courting, Jethro. I'll tell you what. You come in and say howdy, and then take Cynthia for a walk, leaving the widow and me alone.
I get you on. You want to do some sparking, huh?
Widow Fenwick? Anybody home? Widow? Don't appear to be nobody home.
Well, hot diggity dog. Now you and me can eat the candy.
Get out of there. Come on, let's go.
Do you wish the mink, madam?
No. I think it's better psychology not to appear too affluent in front of these hill types. However, I will take blue chip. Oh, Helms always makes such a good impression. Wait in the car. I'll telephone if I need to.
Very good, madam.
My dingies is coming out of the ceiling and the walls and every place.
Somebody always comes to the door when that music plays.
I reckon that's what brings them in. They hear it playing out on the street.
Want me to go see who it is?
I'll do it. You get that contraption out of here. Well, Widow Fenwick, come in.
How do you do?
I see you managed to scrape up a dowry. Little lamb, ain't he?
Oh, indeed he is.
Well, he ain't much. But it shows your heart's in the right place. Come on out to the kitchen and we'll commence fattening him up.
I'm fixing to court you 'em all. Not bad.
Is that why the widow Fenwick done come over?
She here?
Sure is. Mr. Beasley yonder brung her over in his new car.
Mr. Beasley, huh? I sure hope Mr. Beasley ain't got first call on the widow. Wouldn't want to be grazing in another man's pasture. Especially him being a soldier in uniform.
Oh, splendid you've returned.
Howdy, Widder. I reckon I was at your place when you was coming over here.
Well, we're together at last, and now we can make up for lost time.
Why don't you go out back and see if your granny needs some help?
Sure, Pa.
Well, Widder, seeing as we ain't at your house and we's over here, you mind stepping into my parlor?
The sooner we get down to business, the better.
Sure don't beat around the bush, ma'am.
Mr. Camp, may I ask you a question?
Yes, ma'am?
Your banker tells me you're worth $40 million.
Well, that's what I hear, give or take a few million.
Why do you drive around in that truck and dress as you do and eat grits and hog jowls?
Well, the way I look at it, Widder, if you got it, spend it.
All right. Thank you. Well, Mrs. Fenwick crossed me up, went over to see Jed Clampett. I wanted to prepare him before she got there.
Chief, you're a banker, not a matchmaker. Aren't you meddling where you don't belong?
Any place where there's $100 million floating around, I belong. Oh, hello, Granny. Milburn Drysdale. Yes, may I speak to Mr. Clampett, please?
No, you can't. He's in the parlor fixing to spark the widow. Bye.
Well, I've heard of skin the cat, spin the bottle, but what is spark the widow?
Spark the widow! You see, it's already working.
Now, who says I'm not a matchmaker, eh? Come on, let's get over there and help. I smell money.
Now.
Mr. Clampett, what are you doing? Can't we get to my proposal?
Well, ma'am, I kind of like to tune up, sing you a song or two first, kind of get you in the mood.
I'm in the mood.
Sorry, but I ain't. When I go to court, I always like to build up to it gradually.
But you're not going to court.
I ain't?
No, there's no need for that. Once we reach an agreement, my lawyer can handle everything.
Don't that kind of take the fun out of it?
Mr. Clampett, I am not in this for fun. Now, look, I'll put my cards right on the table. You are the man I would like to have come with me into Honeymoon Lane.
Well, thank you, ma'am. That's mighty flattering to an old goat like me.
Nonsense, you have what I'm looking for. So now, what is it? Yes or no?
You kind of got me pushed into a corner, Widder. I thought I was going to be the one to do the asking, not the answering.
Well, ask away. I have nothing to hide. What are you in doubt about? Your banker likes what I have to offer. Dun & Bradstreet have given me their highest rating. And the city engineer has approved my construction.
Ma'am, I ain't doubting them, but them's things a man kind of likes to find out for himself.
Clampett, I'm sorry to rush you, but time is money to me. There are several very wealthy men in this town that would jump at my proposal like that. But I like you. Now, I have the license, and I have the heavy equipment.
Yeah, I reckon you do.
All right, then, if you'll just answer yes, we can get started on Honeymoon Lane today. Now, what do you say?
Witter, ain't you being a mite pushy?
You're darn tootin' she is. And if she's this pushy, flat-busted broke, thinks what she'll be when she gets her hands on your money.
Did I hear you use the term broke in referring to me?
I did. You might be as proud as a peacock, but you're as poor as Job's turkey, and you know it.
My dear, quaint little woman, I am Mrs. Radloff Fenwick of Fenwick House. That home alone cost me $3 million.
For that little place? Witter, you got slicker.
Look out! I can't stop!
Lenny Mae, you have done ruined that door. I told you to leave that thing out in the shed.
No, you didn't, Pa. You just told Jethro to put it there.
Witter, I know you ain't one to beat around the bush, and I'm going to speak plain myself. That young'un of mine's going to take a heap of taming. Are you willing?
Are you kidding?
That'll be your job if and when you're her ma.
But I'm what?
Hop on, Ma, and I'll take you for a ride.
Now, hold on. The widow ain't your ma unless we get proper married.
Married? You and me?
Well, I don't hardly think we can get to Honeymoon Lane without it.
Mr. Clampett, I once said I would do anything for enough money. And I'll retract that statement.
What you meant by that?
Mrs. Fenwick is still here. That's a good sign. She and Jed must be hitting it off. Ah, Mrs. Fenwick.
Out of my way, dry pail.
Did something go wrong?
That hillbilly untouchable wants to marry me. Me!
You can't blame him, Mrs. Fenwick. You're a ravishingly beautiful, devastatingly seductive woman.
You are intoxicated.
Just a minute, Widow Fenwick.
Oh, my darling, I almost left you come to my arms.
I'm sorry, Widow. I just don't think we'd hit it off. Here's your dowry back. Widow Fenwick, sometimes the happiness we're looking for is right in our own backyard. Now you take Mr. Beasley there.
Oh, thank you. I shall quickly, Beasley. Take me home. Oh, it's just all so confusing.
Kind of a skimpy dowry, but don't set too much store by that. How long you been in the service?
15 years, sir.
That long, huh? Well, maybe now with a good woman behind you, you'll soon have some stripes on them sleeves. World of happiness to the both of you. My dog is Granny. You sure are doing some high-powered rocking?
Doing some high-powered thinking. Thinking and rocking goes together.
Well, tell me, Granny, what is this problem that's got you to rocking so?
It's us, Jed. We don't belong out here. These la-di-da city folks don't want our kind around.
Well, whatever put that notion in your head?
Well, here it is pert near Christmas. Back home, folks should be stopping by, passing the time of day, fetching presents, and hefting a friendly jug with us.
Well, you got to remember one thing, Granny. Back home, we knowed everybody, and everybody knowed us. Out here, we ain't much acquainted yet.
You can't get acquainted with these folks out here. I've been trying all morning. I put on my friendly hat, brung out my rocker, and a jug of hard cider, and I've been sitting here waving and hollering at folks and pointing to my jug.
And nobody stopped?
Only a policeman. That's where my jug went. He took it to the police station.
I bet you got a bunch of friends down there by now.
Might as well face it, Jed. We ain't got as many friends out here as a horse has toes.
Look, you spoke too soon, Granny. You ought to come Miss Drysdale, and she's fetching a present. Morning, Miss Drysdale.
Will you please take this animal and keep it here?
Well, thank you very kindly.
And will you please tell Ellie Mae that we have a pet ordinance?
Well, I'd rather not. She'll be wanting one.
Come on, sit down, Miss Drysdale. We'll chew the fat and heft a jug together.
30,000 people in Beverly Hills. How did I get you as my neighbors?
Just lucky, I guess.
If I find any more animals in my flower garden, I will give them to the police.
They wouldn't appreciate it. Why, they took my jug without so much as a thank you, by your leave, or kissed my foot.
Oh, I do hope the new year will be better.
Well, thank you, and the best wishes to you, too. Granny, you gotta admit that was right friendly. Nice fat little goat, too.
You can stop your fretting, Thelma. Pa's done found your baby. Her and Earl and Elmer and me's been looking all over the house for that little rascal.
Well, me, is this your baby goat?
Well, Thelma's her ma, but there's both mine. Come on, everybody, let's go swimming.
Well, if that ain't a new low in gift giving, I'll put in with you. Getting our own goat give to us.
Granny, don't get riled up yet. Here comes some more friends.
That's the bus fetching Jethro home from pot school.
In the middle of the morning? Oh, and look who's driving. Miss Millicent Schuyler Potts herself. Reckon she's come to visit. Howdy there, Miss Potts.
Good morning, Mr. Clampett, Granny. I wonder if I could have a talk with you.
Well, you betcha. See, Granny, she's come to visit.
Granny, can I have some victuals?
What'd you do with your school lunch?
Oh, I ate that at recess.
All right, help yourself.
Yeah. Oh, bye, Miss Potts. Thanks for the ride.
You want to come into the kitchen and have some grits and jowls with Jethro while we visit?
No, thank you.
Well, set yourself. You can have a bench, a bucket, or a rocker.
No, what I have to say is quite brief. It's simply that Jethro has become my #1 problem student.
Well, did you hear that, Granny? You deserve all the credit, Miss Potts.
I beg your pardon.
Well, when Jethro started in your school, he couldn't cipher a problem for shucks. But now he's #1.
Come on into the house. We'll heft a jug on that.
Really, you don't understand. Your nephew is a most disrupting influence. Well, let me put it this way. It will not be necessary for Jethro to return to school after the holidays.
That's smart, is he?
You done it, Miss Potts. Why, back home, he couldn't even keep up with his class.
And here he is graduating ahead of everybody.
No, please.
I'll get the jug.
No, Jethro is not graduating. He is being expelled. Oh, I don't know how to say this, but Jethro is ruining my school, and I do not want him to return.
Well, for not knowing how, you said it pretty plain. Jethro ain't good enough for you, huh?
What?
Simmer down.
Well, you can keep your old private school. Jethro has been there a whole year, and you haven't even made him a private. You couldn't even get him into the army. Baker, cheater, Jethro's too good for you. And you think you're a teacher? I can learn him more. You can't even spell cat.
See, Herman? You just keep your feet moving like Gertrude's are doing. If a rooster can swim, so can a turkey gobbler. How about it, Herman? You willing to try? Well, let's shake hands on it. Attaboy.
Come back here, you wild beast! Come here with my begonia!
Mrs. Drysdale, I sure would appreciate if you wouldn't chase Thelma. It shakes her all up.
Help! Get this thing off me! I'm going to call the police and have all these animals taken away.
Why, they ain't done nothing.
This is Beverly Hills, not a jungle. They shall all be locked up in cages.
Don't do that, please. They wouldn't be happy all caged up.
But I won't be happy until they are. Oh! That vicious dog is going to attack me. Get away!
Cement Pond.
But that's Miss Drysdale.
Look, kid, she's trying to steal Ellie's chicken. Probably wants to give us that for New Year. You get your chicken-picking hands off our livestock.
Margaret, I'm very busy. I haven't time to listen to goat stories. Stop sneezing. What pool? With your clothes on? I thought you were having some of your bridge club ladies over this afternoon. Well, stop sampling the punch. Oh, I'll call you back. Gesundheit. Aren't you about through?
You haven't finished dictating.
Not you. Him.
Senti, se non ti stai fermo non posso fare niente.
Go away, leave me alone.
So, Mr. Drysdale's our friend, is he? That didn't sound very friendly to me.
Go away.
We'll go away, but not until you fill these sacks with our money to tote with us.
Uncle Jed's got $40 million in your bank, and we got 4 sacks. Dividing 4 into 40, that figures to $10 million in each sack.
Ooh, listen to that boy Sacker. That's one thing we're going to miss about Beverly Hills. Jethro getting a fine education.
What are you talking about? Where are you going?
We're going back home, Mr. Drysdale.
You mean for Christmas?
No, ma'am, for good.
What?
We got to face up to the truth. We're as out of place here as 4 cobs in a cream crock.
All right, young'uns, take those sacks down to where they keep our money and commence filling them up.
No, wait, listen, come back. Oh, get out of my way. Quickly, come with me. Now, wait right here and don't move. Measure him up for a complete, vestito nuovo.
Oh, sì, sì.
Well, little man, if you're fixing to tie me up, that ain't enough rope and you ain't enough man.
Dovete stare fermo, altrimenti non posso fare niente, sa.
I couldn't catch them, Chief.
Well, phone down, have them lock the outside doors.
But it isn't closing time.
It will be if the clampers withdraw their money.
Aiuto, per piacere, subito.
Now, if you ever get to be this big, try me again.
Signor Drysdale, aiutatemi.
What did you do that for?
He was fixing to tie Jed up.
Monkey, little feller, throw this skimpy little rope around me real brave.
No, he was just measuring you for a new suit. A Christmas present for me. Oh, help me get him down.
You fill my sack up for me. I got a few words to say to Mr. Drysdale before we go.
Granny, this little fellow was just fixing to sew me up some clothes like you done for Mr. Drysdale here.
Shame on you for doing woman's work. And bad, too. You call this sewing? Why, them clothes wouldn't hold together in a stout wind.
Porca del diavolo, questo è un manicomio.
Don't you sash me, little man. I'll hang you back on that hook.
No, I am not.
Granny, they won't give us your money.
Let's get the guns off in the truck.
Hey, we're gonna field the bank?
Down to the last man.
No, wait. Let's talk this over.
Then along come Miss Potts and expelled Jethro out of her school.
I can explain everything that's happened.
You can.
Yes, I can.
Well, how about your wife said she was going to lock up all my critters?
And mean-mouthing me when I pulled her out of the pond.
Oh, I can explain it. No, I have a better idea. I'll have my wife and Mrs. Potts talk to you themselves, and they can explain it.
They can?
They can, and they will. Oh, yes, you will.
And if I refuse?
If you refuse, the only thing you will find in your stocking on Christmas morning is your foot.
I'm married to a bourgeois beast.
You are married to a desperate banker. And now I'll reason with you, Mrs. Potts. Let me start by reminding you that I hold the mortgage on your building.
So?
So, how would you like to have the only private school in Beverly Hills holding classes on the sidewalk?
This is blackmail. This is extortion.
So?
So? I'll do it.
All right. Now, here's what you're going to tell Jed Clampett.
So you see, Mr. Clampett, I expelled Jethro so that I could come here every evening and give him private instruction.
Well, won't there be a lot of extra trouble for you, Miss Potts?
Oh,
Nothing is too much trouble if it brings me nearer to the man who's captured my fancy.
Who's that, man?
Oh, Mr. Clampett. Can't you guess?
No, ma'am. The only men folks around here are Jethro and me. You see Jethro every day, and I'd only need...
Yes, I must say it. I'm forced to say it. It's you.
But, you got... But you're a fine, educated, high-class, big-city school teacher.
But I'm also a woman. And you're a man.
Yeah, I gotta go along with you on that, but...
And the kind of a man I've always been attracted to. Raw-boned, shy, clean-cut. But basically, very, very masculine.
Well, doggies. Come on, dear.
Milford, no, no.
Oh, Margaret, yes, yes. Now, Granny is lonesome. She doesn't have any friends. Your bridge club is the answer.
Granny doesn't even play bridge.
But you're going to teach Granny to play bridge.
Home, quickly.
Oh, now, dear, now. It's not going to be as bad as all that. You'll have Mrs. Potts to help you, and Jane Hathaway, too.
Even if she learns to play bridge, how could I possibly present that homespun hillbilly to my club?
Miss Hathaway is taking care of that. Granny will look fine.
Ah, come in, come in. Just in time to see your hostess and her beautiful new hostess gown. Granny, entrez-vous.
Oh, Granny, you are a vision of a chic Beverly Hills hostess, from your head right down to your...
My bloomers are showing again. This thing ain't sewed together properly.
Granny, those smart capris are supposed to show. But where are your beautiful pumps?
Pumped up too high. I fell off of them twice.
Well, your feet won't show under the bridge table.
What kind of a table?
Bridge. Mrs. Drysdale here and some of her friends are going to play bridge with you.
Oh, yeah? Who said?
She said, my wife has a club.
Well, she better have more than a club if she's gonna walk on me.
No, Granny. Bridge is a game, a card game.
A fun game. Now, Margaret, you and Miss Hathaway take Granny into the card room and get things ready. I'll send in Miss Potts. Where is she?
Her and Jed are sparking in the parlor.
This here's a little verse I made up for you whilst I was changing my duds.
Why, how very flattering. I can hardly wait.
Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my darling Millie sent just to see me every evening. To such trouble you have went. You expelled my nephew Jethro just to give you a excuse. And your mind said, don't you do it. But your heart yelled, what's the use? I'm a man and you're a woman. You yourself did up and say, now you got my heart to wondering, are you the moth or Ellie Mae?
Oh, Mr. Drysdale.
Don't let me interrupt.
No, I want you to come in and hear the perfectly divine ballad that Mr. Clampett has composed just for me. Where's your wife?
Well, she's going to teach Granny to play bridge. They need a fourth, so I'd better get back.
No. 3 women and 1 man. Unthinkable. Now, you just stay right here and listen to Mr. Clampett's ballad.
Oh, my darling, oh, my darling, oh, my I'm sorry, Mr. Drysdale, but I feel like a darn fool singing this to you.
You're right. Besides, I have some very exciting plans that'll keep you busy for the rest of the day.
You do?
Yes. I want you to be a guest at my club. We'll shoot a little golf.
Oh, you mean go over to the golf pasture?
We call it the country club.
Uncle Jed,
I don't want to watch them women play a sissy old card game.
Well, why don't you come with us, Jethro? We're going to shoot some golf.
Yeah, I'd like that. But you ain't going to go shooting in your courting clothes, are you?
Oh, I reckon I'd best change. Mr. Drysdale, no use you waiting for us. Jethro and me will meet you there.
All right, Jethro. I'll see you at the country club. And meet me in the locker room. I'll have some golf clothes for you to change into.
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you.
Now, I want you to change into these clothes before we play golf. Then we'll spend a nice, relaxing half hour in the steam room over there.
Oh, yes, sir.
Now, when you change, leave your old clothes inside the locker and close the door. I'll see you outside.
Well, Jethro, you're younger and more willowy than me. You try it first.
Yes, sir, Uncle Jim.
You know all right, Jethro?
I can't move, let alone change clothes. These city fellas sure must be runts. What are we going to do?
Well, there's one thing certain. We can't strip naked out here in the hall. Tell you what, let's go over there into that steam room and wait for Mr. Drysdale.
Yes, sir. Can't see nothing through this little windy.
Well, let's just go on in.
Boy, Uncle Jeff, sure is hot in here.
Right smart humid, too.
Hey, look over here. There's rows of benches going up, just like in a theater.
Well, let's climb up the top, get us a good seat, wait for the show.
Well, it's about time you men folks is getting home. Let's get ready and head for the hills.
What happened?
Something go wrong with the bridge game?
Sure enough did. Granny got riled, busted it up.
What riled you, Granny?
Well, first off, them other women wanted me to put my cards down on the table so all of them could see them.
That don't hardly seem fair.
Of course it don't. And when I asked them why, they said because you're the dummy.
Ain't nobody calls Granny a dummy and gets away with it.
You better believe it. How did you men folks make out at that there country club?
Pitiful, just pitiful.
Granny, they got the hottest, steamiest theater there is.
If that wasn't bad enough, they put on the worst show I ever did see.
That's a fact.
Nothing but a bunch of fat old men parading around wrapped in towels.
And not even no music.
Pitiful, just pitiful.
Beverly Hills can keep their unfriendly city people. Come on, Ellie Mae. I want to get into some decent clothes and head for back home.
Yeah, I reckon we better do that too, Jethro. These is kind of shrank up and soggy.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Presentation.